Exclusive. Pentagon data reveals U.S. soldiers more likely to die by suicide than in combat. Washington. U.S. soldiers were almost 9 times more likely to die by suicide than by enemy fire, according to a Pentagon study covering the 5-year period ending in 2019. The study, published in May by the Defense Health Agency, found that suicide was the leading cause of death among active-duty soldiers from 2014 to 2019, with 883 suicide deaths. Accidents followed closely with 814 deaths, while combat claimed 96 lives. Despite initiatives from the Army and Pentagon to address suicide, the problem has persisted, and in some cases, worsened. Notably, the study's figures predate some of these efforts, such as workforce expansions to address harmful behaviors like alcohol abuse. Combat deaths decreased from 31 in 2014 to 16 in 2019, correlating with reduced deployments to war zones in the Middle East and Afghanistan. Meanwhile, suicide rates among active-duty soldiers have increased. In 2024, 55 soldiers have died by suicide so far. Army officials pointed to the rising rates of suicide in U.S. society, mirrored in military ranks, and discussed new strategies to combat the issue. Rising suicide rates. The rate of suicide per 100,000 soldiers has generally climbed since 2019, when it was 28.8. It rose to 36.2 in 2020, slightly dropped to 36.1 in 2021, fell further to 28.9 in 2022, but jumped to 36.6 in 2023. As of May 2024, the rate is 31.8. In comparison, the suicide rate for all Americans was 14.1 per 100,000 in 2021, a 37% increase since 2000. Crisis in Alaska. The struggle to curb suicide has been particularly severe in Alaska. Fort Wainwright saw 11 suicides between January 2014 and March 2019, prompting the Army to invest over $200 million in improved facilities. However, the spending did not immediately resolve the issue. The state recorded 8 suicide deaths in 2019, 7 in 2020, and a peak of 17 in 2021. Following a surge in mental health professionals in response to a USA Today investigation, suicides dropped to 6 in 2022. Pentagon's response. In September, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin outlined a strategy to prevent more deaths based on recommendations from an independent commission studying military suicides. The strategy includes enhancing access to mental health counseling and promoting safe firearm storage, as guns account for 70% of military suicides. The Pentagon plans to hire up to 2,000 people over 4 years to prevent problem behaviors that can lead to suicide and sexual assault. The first members of the integrated primary prevention workforce were deployed to high-risk bases last year. Addressing firearm safety. Gunshot wounds accounted for 65% of Army suicide deaths, highlighting the need for better firearm storage and safety. Carrie Schultz, the Army's Suicide Prevention Program Manager, emphasized the goal of making safe gun storage as instinctive as fastening a seatbelt. At Fort Cavazos in Texas, regular discussions about gun storage among soldiers have led to better safety practices. Evolving prevention strategies. The Army's approach to suicide prevention has evolved to address various stresses on soldiers, such as financial issues and relationship problems, which can contribute to suicidal crises. Training has also focused on reducing the stigma around seeking help. Soldiers are now encouraged to ask their peers if they are considering self-harm. Colonel Kevin Goke, from the Army's Directorate of Prevention, Resilience, and Readiness, noted that the question of self-harm has been integrated into everyday interactions among soldiers, making it easier for them to support each other. Stay informed. For more updates, national news, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.